It's been exactly 40 years since the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, an accident that reshaped how we look at nuclear safety even today. 4 decades later, the site stands as a symbol of past tragedy, present caution and future risks. More in this next report. Take a look.
April 26, 1986. A date that changed the world forever. Disaster struck a nuclear power plant in Chernobyl, located 108 kilometers north of Kiev. On that fateful Sunday, at around 1:23 a.m., a routine safety test went horribly wrong. A power surge resulted in 2 massive explosions, ripping the nuclear reactor apart, sending a cloud of radioactive dust into the night sky. Many workers and firefighters received deadly doses of radiation. At least 31 died in the immediate aftermath. It was just the beginning. With information limited and scale of disaster underestimated, life went on in neighboring city of Pripyat. Emergency evacuation started more than 36 hours later, with over 50,000 people forced to leave, never returning home. In the following days, a radioactive plume spread rapidly, contaminating Ukraine, Belarus, Russia, then slowly across Europe, and even as far as the US East Coast. According to reports, the International Atomic Energy Agency was only notified on April 30th, while the Soviet leadership then did not publicly confirm the disaster until May 14th. The slow response resulted in hundreds of thousands of people being exposed to harmful radiation. A UN report estimated up to 4,000 deaths in the most affected regions. Months later, the Soviet Union built a structure around the exploded reactor to contain radiation from vast quantities of uranium still inside. However, the shield, meant to last a century, faced new threats, with war returning to the site nearly 4 decades later. A Russian drone strike on February 14, 2025 sparked a fire and damaged the containment structure's protective outer cover. Denying any involvement, Russia claimed Ukraine probably carried out the attack as a provocation. The damage is still visible today. A patched section on a 257-meter steel arc inside the original 1986 structure still stands rusted but intact.
Today, the primary risks are military risks because drones and missiles regularly fly over the exclusion zone and the facilities of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. What we saw after the strike on February 14, 2025 could happen again, with far more severe consequences.
Around 2,250 employees still work at the facility, which was briefly occupied by Russian forces in the first few weeks of their 2022 invasion. Plans are underway for more extensive repairs to the NSC by 2030, which the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development estimates could cost at least $585 million.
If the work is not undertaken by 2030, as I was mentioning, the risk is corrosion and that the structure will be undermined. And then this creates a risk in terms of nuclear safety. There is a huge amount of radioactive material, fuel, in which are underneath this new safe containment. So that's why it's so important to carry on the work before this risk of corrosion.
Chernobyl is not just history. It is a stark reminder to the world of what is at stake when nuclear safety fails. Bureau Report, WION World is One.